What up, though, B?
Ain't nothing, chilling.
All right. So waiting for people to jump in and see what's gonna happen. Let me go share this joint. Lord. Shit. Yo, you heard about the battle rapper? I mean, not the battle rapper, the rapper that got killed.
Yeah, they tried.
PNB Rock.
I went and read some shit about it. He I don't know what it is, but these young people, they doing anything, yo. I mean, I can't even say they're young. They just, to me, they doing stuff for fun because, like, they think it's cool to be all on the internet. I mean, that's to do that shit in broad daylight. They just try and make a stand for social media.
Yo. Honestly, yo, and I really don't think that happened because I don't think that happened because of being on social media, yo. It was on Manchester and Maine, Manchester Boulevard, one of the most active strips in Cali. If you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, I thought he was from California.
Nah, he's from Philadelphia.
Yeah, he was not from California. And when you go out there, yo, and people be saying check in, people take that as somebody trying to punk you a lot of times. When in all actuality, that is not the case at all. They are telling you to check in because a lot of times if you know somebody out there, they got some pull out there or they kind of heavy out there, they can let people know this my folks out here, they good. But yo, where he was and where they went to that Roscoe's at was like that the most hood Roscoe's out there, yo.
Right.
And for me, like, I feel bad for the girl, for the baby mother, because she's watching people who will never meet her in life, never know her personally, tell her that it was her fault that he got killed. When in all actuality, those dudes could have been sitting outside the restaurant. Them dudes could have saw him pull up and walk in. It could have been somebody in the restaurant that saw him and said, yo, this motherfucker out here looking like a plate. Like, yo, you can't let yourself think that nobody's gonna bother you because of your celebrity, or nobody's gonna bother you because you may be considered. Because I don't even know if he was like a hardcore gangster rapper or none of that shit. Like, at this point, it really don't matter. The man shouldn't have lost his life over some jewelry and a Rolex. But at the same time, you can't be out here, man, in these areas, yo. And you can't be out here in these areas, yo, and think that you can just walk around freely, yo, and you can do what you want. You can say what you want. You can be where you want, yo. Like, that shit is not safe.
That shit. You hear yourself, though?
I shouldn't be talking like that. I hear myself. I shouldn't have to be talking like that. But what I'm saying,
go ahead.
What I'm saying is this, bro. Like, okay, perfect example. What I'm saying is this. From Annapolis, born and raised, I feel like I can go to any neighborhood in Annapolis and I'm good. I feel like I can go anywhere in Annapolis and I'm good. I feel like I can go most places and I'm good. But that doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't feel different.
Yeah, if you got that money, you ain't gonna be able to say that shit.
You see what I'm saying? His tax bracket was different, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like you're a known artist. Why would you be on Manchester and Maine at Rock? You rode, from my understanding, they rode past a couple other Roscoe Chicken and Waffles to go specifically to that one.
I mean, a couple weeks ago, I did. Somebody else got these youngins, King Von and all them. You know who they are?
Yeah, he died a while ago.
The people that had something to do with his killing and stuff. They robbing motherfuckers every time somebody post something where they at. They going over there and robbing people's houses over ATL. The district attorney. She telling everybody to stop posting their locations and where they at out flexing.
That's true.
Because dudes is sitting online watching for that. And it's sad to say, but they robbed Atlanta football player. I forgot the chick, somebody wife out there. Anyway, but they just putting out, they doing stuff free willingly. It's like they doing shit without they don't even care about the consequences, because
facts.
They're gonna look at cameras on all the buildings out there. They're gonna look at them cameras on them red lights to try to find the car.
Facts.
They found old shorty down Rattlers Woods by doing that.
Yeah.
But this shit going on, like this shit they doing, it's going on all over the country. They doing it everywhere. A little while ago, I posted where 95% of rappers that get killed in their home state.
Facts.
And like, there's no fucking way I want to be a rapper. If I was
only two motherfuckers I know that got killed that wasn't at home was Tupac and Biggie.
Mm-hmm.
Them the only two rappers that wasn't at home when they got killed. Tupac wasn't in Cali. He was in Vegas. Biggie was in Cali.
This dude just got killed and he wasn't home.
Pimp C died in California. But he died. They say it was an overdose, but some people say it wasn't.
I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what's wrong with that people, man. You know it's black people. I seen these youngins, they carjacking people and recording themselves carjacking. They don't got no mask on or nothing. And recording themselves joyriding in the car.
Which is again why I say I feel pretty much safe wherever I go.
I don't.
Tierra, what up? But that doesn't mean that somebody else feels like I should be as safe as I feel. And that's basically what it was, yo. Like, this dude was a plate, yo. Like, where he was, and there's people that's been online, they like, yo, I live out there and I don't even go to that one.
That's what I'm saying. I don't feel safe everywhere I go no more. I used to. I don't feel safe down 20. Like, and I grew up down there my whole life. Them cats don't know me like that.
And that's
I don't feel safe down there.
That's the thing.
I used to feel safe down Robinwood, but I don't really feel safe down there no more either because of all the shit they doing and stray bullets flying around.
And then the crazy part now is I'm hoping that I didn't say this and jinx myself, and the motherfucker be watching this like, oh yeah, nigga, you ain't safe no more when you come down here.
Right.
You think you're a gangster and shit. So like for real, I'm. You know
Man,
what
when
I mean? I don't believe in black on black crime. Don't do that. But I like honestly, yo, like this dude, yo, like you have a lot of these artists, yo, that think because they have a certain stature that people won't harm them or that people won't look at them and try. And this is the same dude that did an interview the day before and said that somebody tried to rob him 3 weeks before that
in that same area in LA.
You see what I'm saying? So
I read that shit today.
You thinking that, so you should have known then that you wasn't safe there, and you going there, and the motherfuckers and the people that killed him probably was the ones that tried to rob him.
They're saying that
it was like, oh, this motherfucker think it's easy to just rock around. Like it's people that think like that, yo.
They're saying that his girl. Some people saying that his girl set him up.
Man, come on, man. Like, yo, this is the thing of it, yo. If that really was the case, you really think that Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles was the only place that she posted their location from, yo? You really think that was the only? You really if she? We talk, yeah.
I ain't saying she did it.
Yeah, PNB Rock, yeah.
I ain't saying she did it.
I don't think it was because of her posting the location. Though.
I ain't saying she did it, but I don't put it past no. I don't put a script past nobody no more.
But she didn't post a location. She just posted that they was at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. She never posted which one they was at.
Lizzie love it.
You want that one?
Look, hey, hold on, everybody. Look, your boy, look. Look. What's going on? Look at you.
Good. No, like real talk. Every time, hold on, let me see.
Yeah, I don't think she set him up either, Tierra. Like, this is what I'm saying.
I don't know. Like I said, I ain't saying she is.
No, I know.
All I'm saying is, I don't put nothing past nobody no more, because I know for a fact that a lot of motherfuckers that got robbed locally actually was called to a chick house, and they got robbed going into a female.
Gucci Mane. That's the same shit that happened to him when he killed the dude. He went to a chick. The chick invited him over there because they had a bounty on his chain. So
ain't that stupid as fuck though, yo?
Like, yo, that's some crazy shit, yo.
Who the dude? The other dude? Somebody just tried to rob him. What's his name? And he killed him.
Oh, Sauce Walker from Texas.
That's right. Yeah. You see his interview?
Yeah.
He said, man, everybody ain't full that getting got, bro.
Listen,
I'm gonna be
here. Listen, bro. Like, it's not like this. The time we live in it, and he still got his shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
putting his
like I said, yo, this, like, if I think honestly, if it was based on her giving their location, that wasn't then I'm sure that wasn't the only time she posted their location when they was out there together, yo. It couldn't have been. And I'm sure that wasn't the only place they went to was Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. I'm sure they went to a lot of places. And I'm sure they took pictures, and she probably posted they was at a lot of places. But at the end of the day, where he was,
yeah, gangster-fied.
Like, I got people that live out where he was. Like, I got family out there. Like, that shit is crazy active out there on that kind of time. So you riding around in a luxury car after there's already been a robbery attempt on you.
I don't know why they want to be in them places anyway. Cause like I don't mean no harm. But every day I wake up, I'm tired of being around uncivilized motherfuckers. I'm tired of being around uncivilized behavior. It's crazy. If I was rich, there's no way I would hang, and there's no way I would just stroll down American Legion or places that I've been going my whole life. I'm gonna stay away from them places. I'm gonna do my fundraiser shit. I'm gonna look out for my city. But the thing is, jealousy always lurking around the corner, and it's those people that sit around and say, "Oh, he from here. I should have been him. I could have been in his position," and all that crap. You just get sick and tired of seeing people dying for the craziest stuff, being into entertainment. Y'all made it out the hood and still living mentally, still living in the hood.
Because I don't know what it is, but like it's nothing wrong with going back and visiting or going back and seeing family.
It is. You keep getting killed.
But what I'm saying is this, yo. It's a difference, yo. It's a difference in going back to visit people, and it's a difference in going back to chill out on the block and drink and smoke and wild the fuck out. That's two different scenarios. Because when you going to visit somebody, a lot of times you going to visit somebody, you going in the house, you going to chill, and when you're done, you're gonna leave. This is about being out somewhere, acting like it's all right for you to be out there, knowing that like you not. Like you have some people who feel like I don't need no security. I ain't got this, that, whatever, what have you. Yeah, until you get out there somewhere and a motherfucker pull you up. Then you realize, you know what? Even Tupac said it, yo. Tupac said, my mistake was thinking.
That's right.
That black people would not hurt me.
He was hurt. That hurt his heart.
He said, a white man, yes, I expected. But he said, when I was in that elevator, I was standing in that elevator area, and I'm like, these is niggas with guns on me? Like niggas is trying to hurt me right now? He was like, yo, that fucked me all up, and that let me know that I'm not safe everywhere I go, no matter how much I love the hood.
I think we're living in a fantasy world. Dr. King, Malcolm X, all of them was living in a fantasy world. They wanted better for black people. Black people don't want better for themselves. If you can't imagine, just listen to the conversation we having. We can't go back to where we live because we made it, and we come back. You killing people that got money, that's doing stuff for the hood that you always been wanting. You always wanted. I just put a song on that joint that rocks to me.
I was listening to it on your story. The
black superhero joint.
Yeah.
Every hood, every ghetto. He's a black superhero. What the fuck? Man, listen. There's no way we should be having conversations like this.
I agree with you. We can't
go around our own people. What other genre of music does that? You cannot go around your own people and celebrate your success with them. I can't go back because somebody gonna say, how the fuck of all the people around here, they let Trey the Kid get killed? Because he was hanging where he hung his whole life. Now he ready to blow up. He come back here and get killed. That shit crazy. And it's all over the world. They got rappers, all over the country. Then the crazy shit, they doing the shit in London. They doing that shit everywhere. Everywhere black people are. There's no other genre of music that's killing each other like there is in the black. There's no way that this shit. I can't celebrate with y'all.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna have to talk about that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening.
When a white person, when you can't go around your own people, what's it called? You can't go around your own people to celebrate your success. And those are the people that actually started you out, because most of those cats, especially back in the day, was selling their music out the trunks and stuff.
Big facts.
Well, those people are the ones that helped me get on. Now that I'm on, I can't come back to my hood because y'all might kill me. Well, 9 times out of 10, you're going to. There's no might about it. It's crazy to say this shit, to even have these conversations.
But it's a reality, though.
It's a sad reality.
Very sad reality. But again, you have people that'll say, Well, that's because we conditioned to. Nigga, like
I'm tired of hearing that shit.
I've seen a lot of people make it out the hood. I'm not conditioned to be mad at them because they made it out.
I'm tired of hearing the whole
condition. Ain't nothing been that fucked up for me where I feel I'm mad that somebody made it out. Like that's crazy to me.
That whole condition thing, I'm sick of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing it. It's just you a fucked up human being, and it's simple and plain. I understand all the shit we went through. I understand what poverty do, but somewhere down the line we learn right from wrong. When you actually are stalking your own, you turning your own people into prey. You don't do this to no other races. Y'all, the niggas running around snatching chains, doing shit for a gold necklace. Dude got murdered trying to take a necklace. Not so he can cash the necklace in and get no bread so he can eat. Just so he can go around telling people he got somebody's necklace from a different coast. That shit is crazy.
Facts, sure. Like it's not a. We looking at a time, like I said, man. We looking at a time where, like you said, we gotta have this crazy ass conversation, but we gotta have it. That's the bad part about it, because if we don't, then somebody else gonna go out here thinking it's okay to be in a situation where you living in different circumstances, but you feel like you got to go back to the hood to prove something to yourself or to whomever, and then your ass end up a victim. You know what I mean? Like, so we gotta get past that mindset. Like I said, that's a mindset, yo. You know what I mean? Like we said, to want to kill them up, like you said, to want to hunt down another black person for something that they got around their neck. That's a sick motherfucker.
I mean, this shit. See, look, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I feel like when I right where I live at, when I first moved here, it was so peaceful. It was a whole bunch of old people surrounding me. It wasn't a bunch of noise. Now it's a bunch of young people live here. It's trash every fucking where. It's noisy all the time. Just weed smoke all over the fucking place. We turn everything into the spot. That's not the spot. But to be honest with you, I feel more comfortable around my own people than I did when I lived in houses outside of the hood. The only thing I didn't worry about getting robbed because everybody knew me, so I wasn't gonna get robbed by them. I don't have no bank account like that, so it's a little different. But to be honest with you, I understand why they come back to their hoods, because that's who we familiar. When you out there in that Hollywood shit, and you gotta change up who you are to be around all these rich, wealthy people. You gotta put a mask on. When you come home, you don't gotta have no mask on. You don't gotta be that fake fronting for people. Everybody, I am a different person, but this is who I really am. I'm a dude from Annapolis. Then I get down in Annapolis and everybody in Annapolis hating on me because I made it out. I ain't do nothing to y'all. I ain't even do nothing to y'all when I was from the hood. So now I made it out. Y'all got it out for me. You getting killed by somebody that didn't try to kill you when you was down there or when you was with your boys in the hood. Now all of a sudden you out here and you getting stalked and preyed on by your own people.
That's fucking crazy.
Niggas going to jail for under $10,000, $5,000, $200 worth of robbery. It ain't like they trying to eat though. I could get it in a sense, cause they doing
that shit just
we from this shit. But to do it to be having fun or stating claim on I snatched somebody neck. People, rich, famous black people, Ray J, all of them niggas is beefing all day, every day. 50 Cent, y'all rich. Yo, shut the fuck up. Chill out, be rich. Like, I don't understand that mentality. They just talking shit to each other every day, starting unnecessary drama. It's like sitting out here in the hood, broke as fuck, drinking and smoking and doing all types of shit, and they got nothing better to do with yourself but sit there for 10 hours. These niggas is tweeting bullshit about people all the time, talking all this crazy shit. And then next thing you know, somebody killed, and everybody like, yo, that's fucked up. Something. Why y'all ain't say it was fucked up in all them tweets they were sent out? Why y'all ain't trying to make peace when they were sending all them tweets out to each other or sending threats to each other on tweet? Niggas is sitting on this box just like me and you talking. I'm like, see, if you come to Annapolis from Glen Burnie, I'm gonna kill your ass. I'm gonna have somebody kill you. Right on, like this. On phone calls with your face on you on a phone with a motherfucker. Got somebody recording you. Telling somebody if they come to your city, they're gonna kill them.
And then talking about people snitching when the feds run up on you.
But then when you hear what they beefing over, it almost make me throw up.
We're gonna come back to this topic. Well, we got tonight, the conversation we're gonna have tonight, I feel is important. You know, we get on here and we talk about a lot of different things. But you know, this is a topic that I feel like it should be discussed. One, because we both dads and we both got grandkids, and this is just something that, you know, we don't want to leave hanging in the wind if something was to happen unexpectedly. Now what I'm talking about, everybody, is life insurance. And having a life insurance policy. Now, I didn't realize how important life insurance. You got a fan on or something, yo?
Yeah, that joint all the way on the other side of the room.
And I can hear it. You but no, you gotta like, I didn't realize how important life insurance was. And somebody posted on Facebook one day. This had to be about 2016, 2017. Sherry Lynn Johnson. Never forget her. Great lady, cool as shit. She put up a post and she said, the post went something like, you really don't care about your family if you leave here and you don't have a policy in effect for after you go.
Yeah.
I inboxed her. No, I commented on the post. And I said, first of all, this is not a good way to get people to want to buy life insurance. I think if you want to make this happen, you should be speaking differently. And she inboxed me and she said, it got your attention, didn't it? I said, yeah. She said, because this is a conversation that you don't want to have. Yep. And I had to really, really think about it. And I was not prepared to have a life insurance conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I was not prepared to have that conversation. And as time went on, I started seeing more and more friends dying. You start seeing more and more GoFundMe's coming up. Yep. You start seeing more and more fish fries coming up. Hold on. But you start seeing more of those. And then I started seeing more people posting like, why y'all got fish fries? You got this, that, whatever. You need to sit down and get life insurance. One of those people is our guest tonight. And I said, damn, bud, that's kind of harsh. How you expect people to want to buy and you leaning on them a little bit. And she said the same thing that Sherry Johnson said. She was like, see, if people are going to pay attention sometimes, you got to kind of slap them upside the head a little bit. And I can respect that because it made me sit down and get that shit in order So now I'm comfortable enough knowing that if something was to happen to me, that my wife would be able to carry on and function in a capacity where she don't have to struggle to take care of herself and my kids and everything else. And she can live normally the way that she has been. I mean, it's not going to be normally because I wouldn't be here no more, but honestly, she would still be able to financially hold it down. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to please welcome, y'all know her, y'all see her. She on Facebook, her and the husband on Facebook, but this is just one of many things. Y'all welcome Miss Malonia, Ladybug, Hawkins with us. What's going on? How are you?
Hey guys.
How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, now I was just talking about it. You heard me. I'm sure you can hear me talking.
Mm-hmm.
And your approach, and Sherry Lynn Johnson. I hope that's the right one. I'm saying, yeah. Oh, she left.
Oh, she on her cell phone, yo.
Wait for her to jump back in. She might have had a phone call. There we go.
That was me. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. But again, I was saying, your approach to the topic of life insurance seemed a bit, I'm gonna say brash, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And when you explained that you were intentionally doing this, it caught, and like I said, it made me think about these type of things, and it made me really, really sit back and think about, if something like that was to happen, what am I supposed to do? And one of the things I thought about was, I don't want my wife to have to go on social media and ask people to help her bury me. I just can't do that. My kids are at the age where one in high school, one on the way to high school next year. I don't want to be in a position where when they decided they want to go to college or they decided they want to do something after high school, that my wife can't do that because I'm not here anymore. Or that she can't maintain the bills and the lifestyle that she normally is living now because I'm not here anymore. And it's tough though. Like I said, when you first think about it, it's tough because you thinking about you dying. And I think we focus a lot more on that than we should, as opposed to making sure that things are in order if something happens and you're not here. We know we all going to leave here one day. You know what I mean? But why not go ahead and make sure that you know that your family's good? So now, listen, I'm going to ask first, what made you decide to take the approach that you did as far as life insurance?
Well, Coach Mikey might say a little bit different because he generally compliments me on the way that I do it.
I do.
He generally compliments me on that. Because the approach I take is dependent upon my market or my feelings for that day. If something has transpired and things of that nature, what I do know, see, and I understand, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but when people take certain approaches, it grasps the attention of the viewers. And my main focus is to grasp the attention of the viewers. I don't care whatever that means. I try my best not to be degrading, but to make people realize, hey, this me. Hey, I done messed up somewhere, or hey, I need to check into this. Because one thing I know, if we keep pacifying people, they'll never do it. People will never do it. And the only way, sometimes, yourself, you on Facebook, you see certain things, we just scroll by. But then there's certain things that literally capture or captivate you where you got to read it, even if it makes you mad. You know what I'm saying? It's certain posts out there that's going to normally, and I'm going to say this, see, most people won't get offended unless they're guilty.
That's it.
And that's why I got offended the first time.
Exactly.
I was offended because I was like, I feel like she's talking to me.
Exactly. And that lady could have not even known you before that.
A lot of people comment on stuff like that just so they can have a comment. They don't really want to ask, the solution to the whole situation.
I wasn't ready.
If you ain't saying nothing wrong to disrespect them or any kind of way, point to me somebody that ain't gonna die.
That's it. Listen, I say it all the time. We can plan for multiple things. We plan for births. When people having babies, we shower them. When people going away to college, we normally give them some type of farewell. When people are moving out of state or moving to another country, going off to the military, we do all of these things, right? But the downfall about that is that day could never come. Somebody can miscarry and never have a baby, unfortunately. Something can happen in the midst of somebody going off to college or going off to the NFL or the NBA and they never make it. Something can happen where somebody's on their way to the military and a tragedy happened and they never get there. One thing that will always happen in our life, and that is death.
No matter what you do.
That is the thing that we do not plan for.
That's it.
Somebody said that the debt that all men pay is death.
It's death. And it's I mean, as unfortunate as we see it as, first of all, death is supposed to be something that we should be able to celebrate. But as you know, now people are dying prematurely, so we don't have those celebrations that we once had. If you look into like the African culture, and I ain't gonna get too deep in this, but if you look into the third world countries and the African culture, the Asian cultures and stuff like that, when people die, they're very old and they celebrate that death for like 30 days. They literally celebrate. Everybody is wondering why they're doing what they're doing. And it's not just about Queen Elizabeth being Queen Elizabeth. That's because regardless of what her motive was, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But her motive in her era or in her time was so sufficient that they felt like this is the way that we need to put this lady away. And that's how deaths used to be. If you notice, our grandparents and great-grandparents, they always kept life insurance. They kept life insurance. They had life insurance on them, the kids, the grandkids, and the great-grandkids. By the little white man that knocked on the door every week to come and get that little premium because they knew better.
Now 20.
Yeah, they knew better.
Dude named Stewart, yo, I think he just retired not too long.
He just recently retired.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember him my whole entire life.
So did I. So do I. But we don't want to talk about it now. Is this new generation that for whatever reason we've got out of that thing. If some of our grandparents can come back, because they would tell you that this is a bill you better pay. And they pay this. Some people still have their great-grandparents using their little once-a-month check, and we're grown people. And that's one thing that pissed me off so bad, y'all, in this industry, is because we call ourselves grown adults. We're big enough to do this, that, and the third. We can go this place, that person place on this vacation and that vacation, and we still got these elderly people paying for our policies. Why? Why is that okay for them to take out of the little bit of money that they get every month to pay $50, $60, $100 on our account for you, and you don't care enough to pay for it on yourself?
My mom was the reason why I respect yours, the way your approach, because when I was younger, my mom was telling me the same way. She was like, you keep on avoiding this conversation about these policies. And then she showed me what she did. She had a policy on all of us for years, since we was babies, yo. Still got the policies. But she like, what are you going to do for your people, your kids and stuff? She's like, when you die, you're going to leave. We're going to have to bury you. We're going to have to put money together to bury. I didn't even know funerals cost that much because I didn't pay attention to it. Mm-hmm. But I finally went down there about 22 years ago, 25 years ago. I finally went down there and I sat down and I looked and I was like, hey, a casket cost $5,000. The flowers in the funeral, them bitches cost like $250. You know what I'm saying? I said, damn. And that was 20-some years ago.
I was about to say.
I've been paying on my life insurance about 22 years, like real talk. My mom, she put the press on me. She was out of my life. My mom let me make decisions and I made bad decisions. And she's like, well, I gave you enough room to hang yourself. But she would not get off my neck about that damn life insurance. You keep playing, you better come up here and get this paperwork filled out. She had most of my stuff already set up for me. I just had to go up there and
sign the paper.
That's it. Stewart had all my social security card and everything from her policies that she got on me. So I had to come up there and tell him how much I really want to spend a month. And and sign the papers. That was it. My shit was simple because my mom, she did everything else. And you gotta remember, I was in them streets knee deep. So she was like, I'm not. I said, you keep on worrying me about dying and stuff. Ain't nobody trying to worry about dying. Your ass gonna die.
That's it.
Exactly what she told me.
Whether you in the streets or not. Whether you in the streets or not.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
It's going
It's inevitable.
Why do you think our people are so taboo about this topic, bud?
And that's what I was just about to say. It's very unfortunate that our people of color, especially our Black males, is where I see it, because I've been in the industry for 9 years now, and it's like pulling teeth. And I think it's because, for one, well, I'm gonna start with our Black males. For one, our Black males, they feel like that they're invincible. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason. They don't feel like that anything can happen to them. You guys were just discussing something when I came on, and I heard the last ending of it, and that's prime example. They don't feel as though that they are invincible. So why should I do this? And then the other piece is just like a taboo. They feel as though if I do this, then something is gonna happen. Like I'm setting myself up, or I'm playing in fire. There's no way I'm gonna get burnt. But the moment that I fill out this life insurance policy, somebody gonna take me out. Or then some people feel like that people want them to get a life insurance policy so that they can gain something off of them. Nigga, you ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got nothing. Ain't nobody gaining nothing off of you. You know, this is just what people think in their mindset. And so that's why I feel like they don't want to do it. Now, the Black or African American community, what I've learned is they have been very miseducated or undereducated. They feel like they already know. They feel like that a policy is going to cost them a fortune, and they're going to have to stop doing this, and this because it's unaffordable. That's one of the biggest things, is the inaffordability people believe that there is when it comes to a policy, until I physically sit down with them, educate them on what they need versus what they can afford, because you always want to know what it is that your family will need outside of you. Because please remember, to everybody that's listening, please remember that life insurance is not for the dead, for real. It's for the living. And I say that because yes, it costs to bury you, but after burying you, who are you leaving behind that used to depend on your income? What people fail to realize is that once you die, your income dies. Your job is not going to continue to send your family checks. How would you feel if you died and left this world knowing that you were the breadwinner of your household, or even of your grandchildren, or somebody that you took on, even your parent at this point? Because some of us, like me, when my dad died, we started taking care of my mom. So sometimes the roles reverse. Now, if something happens to me, that means she goes without. And I can't have that. That's something that I can't afford. You understand what I'm saying? So, see, Alan, like you were saying before, like you built a lifestyle for your family, and in the event that something happens to you, now what happens to them? Because that's still your responsibility, whether you want to admit it or not. And that's not just for you, that's everybody on here. If somebody right now depends on your income, you have a financial financial obligation to them. It just is what it is. You have children. If some of you that are single parents, because I can't see who's on here for whatever reason. I normally can, but I can't. But anyway, for single parents, your children have to go and be with other people. It's not other people's obligation to financially support them. So therefore, you need to have something in place so that they will be able to finance. Do y'all see how high food is alone? Food is expensive. Children trying to get back and forth to school. What if there's no bus and these people got to take you? I don't want to say the burden of your children, but it can become a burden. And now they got to pay for lifts, but they don't have the money. This is how kids get placed into foster care that they should have never ended up in. Like, it's so many different things that can result in the damaging of kids and family members that you're leaving behind because you had a financial responsibility that you're not able to keep up with now because you're gone and now your income is gone.
100%.
One thing that we also got to remember about Black men too, a lot of Black men aren't responsible for
it's true.
Aren't responsible for stuff like that. You'll sit there. I know a lot of dudes will pay their damn car insurance late. You know, the only thing they won't pay late is their rent, shit like that. You know what I mean? If it didn't have a girl or live with a female, they probably wouldn't pay their rent on time. You know what I'm
I
saying?
just had this conversation today. Wow.
Because when I was in relationships when I was younger, I only had one real relationship, but when I was in that, I put money to gave money to her to pay the bills. I did not feel like going to take care of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But like with my mom, just the God's honest truth, my mom pays my life insurance and I pay her back every month since we had it. She gets. I tried to take it from her. She will not let me take this. She want to make sure.
That's it.
She know you're gonna forget to pay.
And then I'm serious. This is who I am. So a lot of times with us as black men, a lot of black men, we just don't be responsible for things like that. And like I said, I have to send my mom will call me sometimes. I'll pay my mother her money, and then she call me up like, you make sure you give me that money. I said, I just paid you my, but she makes sure my policy is paid up every month, and then I reimburse her every month. And I've been doing this. I'm 49 years old. I've been doing it for about 22 years. She paid that joy for me. I'm serious. I mean, I would do it because she taught me how to be responsible for it.
Right.
There's a lot of dudes that just not responsible. How can you walk around here and say you see the same dude that don't have no life insurance and they got a GoFundMe, but he on Facebook with a banging ass shoe collection.
Flashing.
He out here selling drugs. You one of the best dressers out here. And then when we ready to bury you, we got to find an outfit to put you in.
Hey, all right, before you go, I'm gonna ask this question real quick. Bug, I was gonna make sure I ask this question. What do you say to women who have kids with dudes that's out here in the streets about life insurance? Should they just go ahead and get a policy and just
damn right?
I tell all of my single mothers, get a policy on them, and you can. What you have to do, I would have to get their permission and stuff like that. You just can't run around getting policies on people. You have to have consent. But get it on them. You know why? Especially if they are more so if they are contributing to the household or contributing to those children's well-beings or whatever the case may be. Get the policy. Gentlemen, it's not, I'm going to tell y'all something, honest to God's truth, what I've ran into more so though, it's not that the females don't want to, it's that the men won't allow them.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
It's the men will not allow them. They won't give me the information. They won't give me consent. And even though the females 9 times out of 10 know all of their business, because just like Coach said, they already taking care of their business. If they living in a household with them, most of them already the females taking care of everything anyway, or whatever. So they know most of the gentleman's information, but without their consent, you cannot. It's against the law. So that's another thing. But I definitely say if you can, females, get a policy. Yes, it's coming out of your pocket every month, but just be reminded that in the event that something happens to them, please know that at least you will have something to help compensate their income or whatever they're giving you on a monthly basis or weekly basis or however often they're helping to support that kid. Gentlemen, if these women want to get a policy on you, that's something you ain't got to pay. I mean, it's good. It's better for you to have one on yourself for your children. In the event that something happens to you, you should want to take on that responsibility. However, if not, then definitely give them that right. Allow them to do that so that those kids will be able to be taken care of. It's very sad that kids, especially those ones that are going off to college and stuff like that, that they're losing their dads. Because we see more men being lost than women right now, but they're losing their dads and they have to stop certain things because they don't have the financial support anymore. And that's not good. It's really not good.
Hey,
look, if your baby mama is violent, I would suggest that you probably want to just get the policy yourself. Don't let her get if she's known for trying to hit you with her car, don't let her get the policy, my dude. You might want to get that one for yourself.
Come to me on your own.
Yeah, like Mikey did it. Let your mom go ahead and do that and just pay her. You know
put Tiara question up on the screen.
Question up. All right, yeah, because we was gonna get into that because there's different types of life insurance for those that might not know. And being that we have you here, you are a professional. You can explain this. It says, can you have life insurance from your job, or do you need a separate plan?
Great question. Life insurance on your job is something called group insurance. If you notice, 9 times out of 10, it is free. When you get a free policy on your job, that is not a policy that belongs to you, that belongs to that company. That policy will pay for a replacement in the event that something happens to you. And then once that replacement happens, whatever is left, they send to your family. Lady, what do you mean? So let's say I'm working at a job, and on my job, I ended up dying. And let's say that I was a key player on this job. Now they have to spend money on replacing me. What kind of money do they have to spend? They have to send me for drug screening and testing. They have to send me for physicals. They have to train me or do my 10-day orientation or whatever it is. That costs the company, because now they already got a check coming out to you, and now they got to pay for your replacement. When that happens, that money will come out of whatever that quote unquote policy is that's left on the job, and your family may or may not get the remaining balance, contingent upon how long it takes and how long that money it takes for that money to run out. This is why you never get a policy in your hand. People keep saying, I have insurance on my job. Baby, you probably don't. The job has a policy on you because you signed papers to give them permission, but you don't even know you signed the papers and what the papers say because you didn't read them. But that's what job insurance is. It is a group policy. There's another type of job insurance that also falls under a group policy, and that's because it goes under a collective corporation. So it's a lot of people working at that job or whatever it is. So you might pay, let's say, $5 per check for this policy, right? Once you get this policy, it's not going to be for a large lump sum of money. So you ain't getting no hundreds of thousands of dollars. They might give you 25,000. The most that I've seen is probably about 50. You might pay $5-10 a week or per paycheck for this policy, and it's cheap like that because it's on a group plan. There's a lot of people paying into it, so they give you a discount. Now, what happens with this policy is, in the event that you lose your job or you leave the job, the policy either one or two things, either no longer yours, or if you decide to take it with you, they increase the rate about 4 to 5 times. So that same $5 a week policy or $10 a month is now about $50 to $60 a month, and you're paying that amount for like $25,000. So there's different stipulations, and you have to be very careful with these job insurances. This is why I always educate people on this and tell them, even if you have an on-the-job policy, whether it's free or whether you pay into it, always have something that you physically control outside of your job. What you never want to do is leave that matter in somebody else's hand. That is the worst thing that you can do. You need to have something that you have physical control over in your own hands. You need to know how much you have, what's the face value, how much it's going to be every month. In the event that I die, do I got to wait for a 2-year contestability, or is it automatically going into effect? It's so many different stipulations. Then I know somebody will ask about this sooner or later, whole life versus term and all of that. So there's a lot of stipulations with these different policies, but we don't know this if you're not in the industry or if you're not reading it. You in orientation with everybody else, they're going through this stuff real fast, and you saying, okay, yeah, I want that, and you sign. That's it. You got to be very careful. So to everybody, if you have a job insurance, that's fine. When you leave that job, you're probably not going to have it no more. If they decide they don't want you no more, you're probably not going to have it no more. Always have something that you control on the outside. If you do not have a policy outside of your job, feel free to call me. I will assist you in the process and make sure you have exactly what you need for you and your family. So that's, I pray that I answered that question. If I did not, please let me know.
No, the next, because I was going to go to the very next question.
When I found out about that, most
yes.
all these gangster rappers, they got the companies that promote them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Life insurance policy.
Got those policies.
That's
Life
right.
insurance
Their
policy.
families don't. I found this out. What you said. I found it out by just I was just going over, rappers that passed away and all that stuff, and all their parents struggling because they thought they had insurance policies, but the actual company that promotes them and everything, that owns rights to everything got, and they won't sign them unless they sign an insurance policy.
And you know why? They don't sign them because they have now a fiduciary responsibility to them. They are expecting for them to produce albums, and in the event, and they've already put out money and invested into these people. So now they got to be able to recoup. If you don't produce, I need a recuperation of my money.
Yep. And if you get killed, your family ain't got nothing.
Okay.
That's why when you said put that money in your hand, your paperwork in your hand, and this had nothing. I didn't look this up to find out about the life insurance. I was just looking up all these damn rappers getting killed and all of this was a couple months back, and then their parents was coming on there and struggling with burning them because they can't get to the kids' money.
Yep.
They got paper and it's a lot to it. So when you said that, I'm like, damn, I just was learning about that and I stumbled across it.
Wow.
They say the dude Young Dolph. They say the label that he was signed to, the owner of the label had an insurance policy on him.
It's like 98%.
And it wasn't just him. They said that he had policies on like 4 or 5 other artists, and all of these artists have been murdered.
Yep.
Wow.
That's probably what I was.
So people were saying, you might have posted it. People were saying that they think that he might have had something to do with a couple of them to collect that money.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So my question, and I know.
Let me hold on 1 second. See, can I say something real quick? Just to those of you that may be entrepreneurs on here, or any form of business owners, just so you know, that is legal. It's legal that you can have a policy on your key holders. This is why big corporations have those group policies at their jobs, because it's legal. If you are an entrepreneur, it is a great idea to get insurance on your key holders, because in the event that they pass away, you have to find somebody to replace them. And if they are contributing to your business, even barbers, hairstylists, these people are paying booth rent. If that person dies, now your income lacks, and now you have to find money to replace that booth rent. So if you are an entrepreneur, not just hairstylists and barbers, I just use those because that's the most easily explained, but it is legal for you to have insurance policies on your key holders, just so you guys know.
It makes perfect sense, though.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But so the question I want to get into, because I had to learn about this, the difference between whole life insurance and term life insurance.
Okay, so the differences between whole life and term. I will start with whole life. Whole life is a policy that everybody in the world believes that they need until they're educated differently. A whole life policy, because of the words whole life, people just automatically assume that it's for your entire life. And that is not always the case. That's just the name of the policy. A whole life policy with our community, because I think that, our community is where we has the most ignorance when it comes to things like this. Our community hears that there's a cash value attached to it and you can borrow from it. When they hear the word borrow, they feel like, oh, that's extra money whenever I need it. What other piece about it is a whole life policy, when you pay into it, there's two components to it. There is a portion where it's a quote unquote cash value that these people come and tell you that money can build up in there. When you get to a certain period, you can pull money out, send people to college, buy cars and all of this stuff, right? So they feel, and of course you can borrow from it. The other piece is so let's say if I'm paying $50 a month, I'm going to say $40 might go to my actual policy, and the other $10 will go to that savings account or that cash value account. One thing about that is that it does not start accumulation until at least year number 3. So for the first 3 years, I don't know what they do with your money. Don't ask me because I don't know. But then it starts to accumulate. The other piece about it is if you die, although there are two entities, the face value of your policy and your cash value, you only get one. The decision is yours. You can either take the policy and the company keeps the face value, or once it's quote unquote, and we'll get into that, paid up, you just get the amount of the policy or the amount that's in the cash value. You never get both. With a term policy, depending on which company it's with, it goes for extended, it goes for a certain time frame. Now, I'll use my company for an example. So with our term policies, we have one of the greatest terms, the longest lasting terms, and that's 35 years. And term policies is for increments of time frames. So you can get it 35 years now, and in 35 years, you can renew up to age 95. So still practically, quote unquote, for your whole life. The reason why people don't like term is because that's all they hear, and they think they can get a policy one time, and once it's over. That's not the case. They also don't like term because they feel like, oh, I can't borrow from this policy, so it ain't beneficial to me. That's not the case. They also hear term and they feel like, oh, well, when the time comes and I got to start this policy over again, I'm going to have to pay an X amount of dollars, and it's going to be too expensive. That also is not the case. I believe that people are just so miseducated. And I just think that that's why it's so phenomenal that you guys are having this podcast tonight, because I just think that our people is just so miseducated or undereducated. With a whole life policy, your policy still can term at a certain time frame. It's called an endowment period. It's just a different term for it. But if you're not in the industry, you don't know it and you don't understand it. So you just hear whole life and you think you're going to have it forever and a day. That's not the case, people. The other thing about whole life is you're going to pay almost double, at least 1.5 times than you would pay on a term policy, and you're going to get less coverage. So the same $100,000 whole life policy, let's say it costs $166 a month, right? And I use this scenario all the time, so I'm going to use these numbers. Somebody could go out and buy a whole life policy for a $100,000 whole life policy and pay $166 a month. I could turn around and sell them a term policy, a $250,000 term policy for $88 a month, show them how to take the rest of that money that they were already paying out and put it in an interest-bearing investment account. So now they have 2 separate accounts. So if they die, their family get both. And not just that, the interest-bearing account is going to get from 10 to 12% rate of return on the money for the life of the fund. Tell me what you think makes sense. If somebody was to give you the option of getting a whole life policy, that's a $100,000 face value. You're paying $166,000 a month. I mean, $166 a month. Let's say you have it for 20 years. At the end of that 20 years, you have $6,000 in a savings account. Or if I tell you, hey, you can get a term policy, we're going to do it for the same 20 years. It's going to be $88 a month. You're going to get $250,000. And in your investment account, you'll have $150,000 when in 20 years. Which one would you choose?
That term.
People not educating on it. And because back in the day when people were knocking on our parents' door, all of them sold whole life. You know why? Because honestly and truthfully, we get paid a lot more. I don't sell a crap because I know it's crap. They ripped me off before I learned the industry, and I was getting ripped off. Me and my husband, because my father told me when I left home at 17, he said, Malonia, I don't care what you do. I'm releasing this policy to you. This is the first bill you better pay every month. I've always had a policy just like you, Coach. My parents had it on me first, and then I took over it, and I've been paying one ever since. What I didn't know is that somebody sold me junk because this is what they made money off of. I am well aware that I make less money than whole life agents. I'm okay with that because I know I'm doing what's right by my people 100% of the time. I'm here to educate. I'm not here to sell nobody no policy, no way. I'm here to educate people on the proper policy, what's best for them and their family, because what's right for me ain't necessarily right for you, Coach, because you don't have the family size that I have. Your children are grown. They basically probably can fend for themselves. You don't have no babies. I still got a ninth grader. You understand what I'm saying? So what I need ain't going to be what you need. See, what you need probably ain't going to be what I need because you got smaller kids. So you need a larger investment than me. I might have an ownership in things that you don't have an ownership in. I have multiple businesses. You might not have no business. You understand what I'm saying? So that which tells or determines what every individual needs, and that is very strategic to the individual. But a lot of times we run out here getting what somebody else has because they say it's the best thing. But that doesn't mean that's the best thing for you. So you got to be very strategic when you're sitting down with individuals. I'm very strategic. I do something called diming with them. That just means dime, D-I-M-E. So the death, what it's going to cost for this is how we determine how much coverage you need. And what's best for you, how much your death and burial are going to be. And that's the average for right now. What your income is, and we got to replace your income. The statistics say 8 to 10 times your yearly income. That means at least my family will still be able to live without me, but still with my income for at least 8 to 10 years. If you have a mortgage, if you're married and stuff like that, so that falls under your M. And E, education, because a lot of times people don't understand that when you die, certain bills are left behind. Education, student loans is one of them. They don't die when you die. And people don't know that. So it's a lot of education that needs to be done. It's certain things that don't die when you die. We were still getting credit card bills that my father had when my father passed away. So we had to pay them because my mother was still living and they were connected. So that means that these are bills that still, it was just the last payment or whatever it is. So when you're connected, when you have a fiduciary responsibility with somebody, you have to take on that responsibility. So married people, just so you know, when your spouse dies, there's some bills that's going to be left behind. Where's this money coming from if there's no life insurance policy? So I think it's more of a lack of education. To go back to the question before, I think it's a lack of education in our community. And this is why people don't take it as serious as they really need to. They feel like, okay, if I'm dying, I'm gone, everything else is gone. No, that's not the case. That's not the case at all.
Hey, I heard that money that they take on your first 3 years is what they use to pay other people or save the money.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I didn't want to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, so they can pay other people with your money. It's almost like borrowing your money.
The same thing the banks do to us every time we get direct deposit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The same
so
thing.
We got another question from Tierra. She said, is there a fixed premium during the term policy or does it fluctuate?
Nope, there's a fixed premium. Only time it fluctuates if you want it to fluctuate. Now, my company personally has something that we call accumulation benefit. So because the economy is constantly changing, every year they will send you a letter and ask you if you want to increase, and they will give you a 10% increase with no health proving. Like, even if something has occurred from the time you got your policy, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do a health or background check, anything like that. Every year they'll send you a letter asking you if you want to increase. So let's say if you have $100,000 policy, now you'll have $110,000, and it might only charge you like an extra $1.50 a month. But that is totally your option. It is very optional. You do not have to agree to it, but they will ask you if you want it, and that's only because of the increase and fluctuation in in the economy.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. Is that good to do like every year if you decide you might want to add more? Is that a good thing to do, or should you just settle for a total amount and just go with that amount?
Nope, that's a great thing to do. And that's another reason why we dime people. If you do this thing properly, because you'll get most of what you need up front. However, let's just say you need, I'm just going to use 100,000 because it's an easy number. Let's say if you need 100,000 after we dime you, right? But let's say it's not affordable for you. My thing is this: when I sit down with my clients, I show them what they need versus what they can afford. Because the last thing I need is for their policy to lapse. There's no sense of me selling them $100,000 policy for let's say, well, it wouldn't cost $100 a month, but let's just say for $50 a month when they really only can afford 30. Because after a few months, their policy is going to lapse and it makes no sense. So I'm going to put them in a $30 policy. And then what we will do once their income increase and things like that, we will revisit, because I do revisitations. And normally in September, I do it because it's Life Insurance Awareness Month. So normally like in September and about March, I'll do it with my clients just to see where they are. The other thing to answer your question is, it's good to get checkups on your policy because people have new babies, people get new vehicles, they purchase homes. So all of these things change. When we first dimed you, all of those things may not have been in the equation originally. So it's very good to get a checkup, like for us. So when we first got the policy that we're in now, we were living at Aspen Park. My dad had just passed, and this was the reason why I even checked my stuff and I started or whatever, this business. But we were in a townhouse, different things like that before we had moved to the Eastern Shore, bought the house over there and stuff like that. So all of our dynamics were different. So once we moved, we had to switch. When we just moved to, like, fast forward, now we moved to the new house, we still had to make sure everything was still stable enough that in the event that one of us died, because first we was only in a $240,000 townhouse, now we're in a $600,000 house. If we still had a $240,000 life insurance policy, if me or my husband died, that couldn't even pay the house off. You understand what I'm saying? So now
I see what you're
it's
saying.
a whole different dynamic. So you definitely should get a checkup on your policy, or you might downsize and might not need that policy amount anymore. Or you get older and may not need a policy anymore. That's the part that people don't talk about. Whole life agents will never tell you that. But you do not need a policy your entire life. That's what people don't want to talk about. And yes, we get paid. If you don't need it. And this is why term is so amazing, especially when you have a company that's not just an insurance company. Like, I have a financial services business. We don't just do insurance. We do investments and everything else as well. This is why we teach people to invest, because when you get to retirement age, you should be able to live off of your investments. You should not be paying for a life insurance policy. That makes no sense. Why at 65, 70 years old, when kids are grown, the house is normally paid off, you normally don't have no whole bunch of bills, what do you need a $200,000 life insurance policy for? Who are you leaving it to?
Right.
When you have an investment plan, you still can have beneficiaries. If you ask your children, now I'm gonna ask y'all. I don't know, see if your parents are still living. I'm not sure, but Mikey, I know your mom is. If you was to ask your mom today, if your mom was to ask you today, Mikey, can I get rid of this life insurance policy and just leave you my investment when I die? I want to go on some vacations and stuff, so I'd rather put my money in an investment plan. Would it be okay with you, or do you want this $100,000 life insurance policy, or is it okay for me to have a $100,000 life investment plan so I can do some of the things that I want to do? What would you say to her?
Sure, I would want to do her thing.
Exactly. But you know what? Because our older generation was miseducated, they don't even understand. And at this point, a lot of them don't even have retirements left because they outlived their retirement. Most of them have outlived their retirement. They don't have investment plans. They don't have those things in place. So if something happens right now, they don't have the finances to get buried and things like that. But most of us that have good morals will want our parents to be contributing money to their investment plan versus a life insurance policy. We're grown. We can think for ourselves. Right. We don't need that money. You understand? But in their mind, they don't notice if we don't tell them, especially if they weren't educated on it. But for me, my mother already know. Right now, if something happened to you, I don't need no life insurance. Reduce that thing, because we don't need that. And contribute to an investment plan so that way you can do some of the stuff that you want to do. You've worked 40 years forever for somebody, and now you still gotta try to make ends meet and pay a life insurance policy. Why? It doesn't make sense.
That's serious right there. Because like I said, you just hit me to something. Because I did not know that you did not have to have a life insurance policy.
You don't.
I did not know that.
When I retire, I plan on getting rid of mine, because right now we paid I don't want to lie, but I think we paid $220. But that's because we got it, some years ago when we were younger. So that's another thing. The younger you are, the healthier you are, the cheaper it is. Get it while you're young. Get it while you're young. Yeah.
I got a question up from Kiana. Says, what do you suggest as a good retirement account for entrepreneurs?
I would say a mutual fund. A mutual fund is a great investment account because what that is a combination of stocks and bonds. So I'm gonna just give you a scenario. Let's say we had a combination of Nike, Timberland, let's say New Balance, Nestle Water, and then let's say Benchmark Engineering. And these are stocks and bonds. So it's a combination. What happens in the stock market is, let's say Nike is up, but Timberland is down. Benchmark is up, but Nestle is down. You're going to get a balance in your portfolio. And when you balance your portfolio like that, a mutual fund is going to, it statistically gives you a 10, 12, 15% rate of return on your money through over the life of your fund. Whereas like a 401k or IRA, most of those funds, you're going to be investing in like one particular stock. And whatever that stock does determines what your money going to do. But when you have a mutual fund, that's a collection of stocks and bonds, and it gives you a better leverage. I can't say to you that you will never have a drop or there will always be an increase, because I just can't, legally, I can't say that. However, what statistically happens is there's a balance in your fund, and that is one of the best funds to have for growth, especially if you're looking for growth in your fund. That's one of the best funds, and you can take risks. That's one of the best funds for an entrepreneur to have. And that's a mutual fund.
I might need to see about this mutual fund.
Yeah. And mutual funds are very good for children, like when your kids are growing and stuff like that. For all age groups, like mutual funds is a very, very good investment account.
This sounds like something fire right here. I might be getting back at you about that.
And it really is actually what the banks do. They allocate our money. It's exactly what and that's something else that we show people in my company, because again, like I said, we're not just insurance, we're full-fledged financial services. So we show people how to allocate your own money. That's all you're doing. You're saving in a bank is never a way to, you want to save for like your mortgage, your rent, your car payments, groceries and stuff like that. Your monthly bills, that's fine. But when you talk about long-term savings, you should have 3 different accounts. And I'm going to bring this in real quick just because she asked about accounts. You should have a regular savings account for your daily, monthly household bills. You should have a short-term account for emergency purposes. So let's say in the event the hot water heater go up, your car break down or something like that, you could go and buy a cash car real quick if you need to, or whatever you need for that emergency. Somebody died and don't have life insurance, you go to your emergency fund. That's what we just did. What happened when my brother just passed away, I went to the emergency fund. And I mean, it wasn't that serious, that's what happened. And so that's what we did. And it wasn't even thought about anymore. And then you want that long-term investment account for your retirement. And that's your long-term retirement fund. So you should always have 3 different savings accounts. That's your basic saving account for your monthly bills, an emergency fund, and that's not the coins in the jar in your corner in the kitchen, not that one, but the big one. And then you should have that long-term one. So the long-term one, if you have an emergency one, you don't have to really worry about touching a long-term one unless it exceeds your emergency account.
Word. Like all of this you talk. Wait, Mikey. Oh,
no, another question up there.
Oh, right here, yeah, from Ashley. I think I had asked this one too, Bug, and you answered it about a month or so ago. What happens with a policy if a suicide is involved? Do the family still get the money? Is it a long process?
Very good question. So it depends on companies. I can't speak for every company, but in the insurance industry, most companies do not pay out for suicides. Now, with the exception of my company, we do. However, there has to be a 2-year contestability period. So this individual will have to have their policy in place for at least 2 years before we will pay out. The reason being most companies don't pay out because some people will fake a suicide death as if it were a suicide, and it's not a suicide. So they will collect off of quote unquote saying that there was a suicide and it was not. If you notice in our community, they would rather say that it was a suicide than to have to find the individual that murdered one of us.
True.
Think about that.
That was something they said, and I want to say that was either in Mississippi or Alabama in the early 60s, mid 60s. The coroners used to call black deaths by lynching a suicide so that it wouldn't have to be investigated. So yes.
That's great.
Yep. And the other piece behind it is the insurance company don't have to pay out.
Facts. Yes.
Well, you gotta be real careful right now because
you have to.
one of the serious things that's going on is people, I don't know if people paying attention to, but America don't want people to get old because they got to take care of people when you get old. So why you think all this stuff is set for us to die early? If you pay attention to what they talk about, they always talking about people not getting old, yo. Because the insurance, like I said, the company.
We have this thing now, and I always say this, that it's so unfortunate that it's more people dying than retiring.
Yep.
That's crazy. And what we were just talking about earlier, it's crazy because it makes me go back to the Malcolm X movie and how his father died and the insurance company wouldn't pay out the money because they said it was suicide. Mm-hmm. And remember, the mother said, so you mean to tell me he hit himself in the back of the head with a hammer?
Right.
And laid on the train track?
Right.
So, okay, I see exactly what you're saying. That's wild.
And do you remember the movie? I think it was called 7 Seconds, where the insurance policy wasn't in place. So I think it was called 7 Seconds, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a movie.
King,
yeah, 7 Seconds. Yeah. And the insurance policy wasn't. There was no insurance policy in place, so she ended up struggling.
When the little boy got hit by the car, right, by the police.
Yep.
And they thought he was dead in the snow and shit. I think I remember that. I think that's what it was.
Wow.
Yeah, if we watch, there's a lot of things that'll come out that'll be a lot of truth, but we don't pay it any attention, especially people that aren't in the industry. And I don't fault people for not knowing this information. It's a lot of information, but it takes a lot of studying. It takes a lot of, or somebody to be in the community being able to really push this information out there, so this is not something that you wake up and just start thinking about, so we can't really fault the community, but all we can do is exactly what you guys are doing. And I commend you for even wanting to discuss it, because it's not one of the most popular topics. Like, it's not something that's going to really draw a lot of attention to your podcast, because people, like, they kind of want to know, like, people, I promise you, people come back and watch this podcast. Watch how many views y'all get.
I was going to say that the replay value is going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is. I already know this, but some people don't even want y'all to see them on here even listening, because it's just very, very unpopular, and it's sad, but it is.
Now, you know what's crazy? It's not that unpopular. It's just people don't want, because this conversation comes up a lot in our community. It comes up a lot. Do you all have people like me? I've been paying mine forever, so if you say something to me about it, I'll be like, but who do you think won't bury your ass?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. And this is it's more popular than you think it is. People talk about this shit all the time. And it's because, like you said, every time you turn around, I had somebody mad at me because I didn't put up money for a GoFundMe. I'm broke. You dead. I need to survive and take care of my son while I'm alive. I was broke. I ain't giving you no damn money for no GoFundMe, and you niggas was out here hustling, and I'm out here working, but I'm struggling. I'm getting back on my feet. But real talk, I had to tell a person just like that. I said, bro, listen, I'm not putting money in that bucket because I don't have it. I got to take care of my child. But he did. That's perfect for him then. He ain't got to worry about paying no bills. I do. I'm sorry.
The views expressed by Mikey Somerville are not those.
No, listen.
Let Me Talk the podcast or its subsidiaries.
I'm not saying it like that.
No,
I know what you mean.
But what I'm saying is, to be honest with you, I was broke at the time.
But listen to this, Coach.
He was dead. And I'm like, well, he don't got to pay no bill. He ain't got to worry about getting put out. He ain't got to worry about none of that. I do.
Hey,
you should look at how many deaths we've had of people that we know personally in the last month.
Yeah.
How can we put in every one of them pots? How?
You can't.
In the event, not saying that they were GoFundMes, but I'm just saying, just think about the amount of deaths collectively that we've had in the last month that may or may not requested money. How could, if they did, how could we put money in there?
Right.
Just think about the past year, how many deaths that we've had that literally asked for money. Like, how? Who's fortunate enough to be able to do that every single time?
And all them people we know, we from the same hood.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. And it's not that you don't want to. Sometimes you just can't. You can't. Like I'm paying 4 house payments right now. Well, 3 in my son's apartment because he's away in college, but he need an apartment for him and his family because he's still at school. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have it. Like and people look at you and they think, well, they think a certain thing because they're outside looking in.
You know what I'm saying? You doing big things, Bug. You got that big old house.
Exactly.
Got about 7, 8 business. You got that bread, Bug. Stop playing.
We're trying to float like everybody else.
Facts.
We paying college tuitions and just stuff, trying to make sure that in the event that something happens to one of us, we good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. Right. It ain't about nothing else. We got grandkids that if something happened to our children, we're gonna have to take care of. Right. So yeah, people outside looking in, people don't even get it. Like I agree with you, Coach. Like I can't. Like I ain't got it.
We're gonna run this out.
Especially when I'm not trying to diss my man. I love them dearly, but you dressed at that time. You was dressing better than me. There was times that I couldn't tell people that I didn't have a hair. I couldn't afford a haircut, so I cut my head bald. I'm not gonna pay $25 to go get a haircut while I'm struggling. I was rocking a bald head. Everybody like, you got a whole head full of hair, but you rocking a bald head. I don't know how to shape myself up, so I cut this shit off and gave that $25 to my son. I was struggling. I made sacrifices.
That's it. Wisdom.
If you come, I can help you out better now because I'm in a better position in life. But if you're struggling, I'm not going to put myself out there to go fund your ass and you out here with $10,000 worth of Jordans. Shit, cash them bitches in. You can bury your soul. Most of these cats I work and make good money, and most of these cats that still got better shit than me. And then you die. If I die today or tomorrow, ain't nobody got to pay a penny. I ain't even. That's all I'm worried about. My kids are all independently taking care of themselves.
Exactly.
So I don't want to leave. I left them. I got enough to leave them some change. Don't nobody depend on me right now.
See, there's a difference. Now your dynamics are different.
That's right. But I get it, and I damn sure, like I said, I just don't get it. The conversation, one thing that since the conversation is, like I said, is more popular than you think, because we are men, we sit around and we have barbershop talk. We call it barbershop talk, but we be on the corner having these, barbershop talks. And the conversation comes up more than as we getting older. And the craziest thing is you can tell who don't have life insurance. They either quiet or they make dumbass points about why they ain't thinking about it right now. And you sitting there like, you motherfucking 45 years old, but every time I see you got a nice ass pair of shoes on. One less pair of shoes a month can get you some life insurance.
Facts.
Literally like $20 a week.
I had to bite the bullet, like Kamala handled everything, you know what I mean? But like I told her, I said just, I want it to be in the 6 figures. Like it has to be. Because I don't want you to have to go for one. I know how niggas is. I do not want her on social media asking nobody for nothing. Because if a motherfucker give her $1 to bury me, then the next conversation that I paid for that whole funeral, right? Nah. I told her no. I got a nice policy. I told her something happened, cremate me, make sure people at the repast get a good piece of chicken and take the kids to King's Dominion for the weekend.
Nah, you ain't cremate me.
Listen, man. I don't need to go in the dirt, man. Cremate me.
I don't believe in that shit.
I'm good, bro. Like cremate me, man. Like this is what I'm saying. Like I understand. I understand that
Oh no,
some people want to be buried. You pay for a funeral, but like you just said, funerals is bread. Like nah, put me in a
cremations are up in the 7,000s and up now.
Yeah, well, that gotta be cheap because you gotta pay for the burial plot, you gotta pay for the coffin, you gotta pay for the services to get done to your body, you gotta pay for your body to get cleaned out, you gotta pay for your body to be embalmed, you gotta pay for your body to be picked up and transported from the hospital to the funeral home, from the funeral home, unless you're a veteran. The only thing about being a veteran is a veteran doesn't have to pay for burial because they can get buried in a veteran cemetery. That's the only thing you don't have to pay for a veteran for a funeral.
Man, take me in the back of 20 and throw me back in. Let them raccoons eat me.
And all right, so we're gonna round out the conversation, Bug. But I've been thinking since we've been having this conversation, you've been talking about things other than just life insurance. We actually been talking about some financial literacy. So I feel like I want to have a financial literacy segment once a month and have you come in and just speak about different things that our people might need to know about.
Yeah, because I need something to invest my money in.
In order to have a little more financial literacy.
Absolutely.
We can talk about that behind the scenes, but when like I said, just once a month, you come on maybe 15, 20 minutes and just talk about different topics. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Financial literacy. But we want to round this conversation out for this last question Kiana had. And this question was, what do you suggest for people who are denied life insurance due to their background?
Okay, great question, because I've been getting this a lot and a lot more. So what happens is it's actually a time frame that most individuals have to wait in the event that they are declined because of their background. First of all, let me make this point as to why people get declined because of their background, because a lot of people do not understand it and they are very upset about it. Please don't be upset with me because I am just an agent, a licensed agent. I don't make any of these insurance laws, rules, or regulations. But I've had multiple people become very upset with me because I know that I'm the next thing that they see and I'm the closest thing that they'll ever get to in regards to the insurance industry. So I get it. But please, people with backgrounds, understand that anytime you are using any form of insurance, it is a risk. Insurances are created for risk. Car insurance in the event that you have an accident. Health insurance in the event that you become unhealthy. Life insurance, homeowners insurance in the event that something happens in your home, you get a fire. Life insurance in the event that you die. When people have a background, it is 9 times out of 10 because of something that they've done that is creating a risk that may cause a premature death. Not everybody that's incarcerated has done something.
Right.
We know that. However, when you look at the paperwork, it says differently. So now they look at you as a risk, just like if you get locked up, like they consider you as a menace to society, and you very well may not be. But this is how the law sees it. So with that being said, this is why they are so hesitant to insure individuals that have a background. And it has nothing to do with the individual as a person because they don't know you. It's all about the risk and what has happened and what does statistics say and things like that. So more of it is statistical, and versus more than anything. So I wanted to clear that up. To answer your question, I would highly recommend that you try again. And don't get frustrated with trying, because that's just like applying for a job. You might not get the first 5, but it might get to a point where that 6th person hire you, or whatever. So don't get discouraged. What I would say is you can always start one of these mutual funds. And because the rate of return is so great, you at least you're accumulating some finances. I got somebody doing it right now. At least you're accumulating some finances where that in the event that something happens, your family may not have $100,000 to bury you, but at least they have something on hand that they don't have to go and use no collection plate. I would recommend that you use some type of investment account to start off with, and as you're trying periodically or what have you, because generally depending on what the charge is and the length of incarceration, all of that stuff plays a part. If you just got a slap on your hand or something, and you did DWI or DUI and they got you in doing some weekends, you probably can get a policy. If they see something more on a criminal or felony offense is where you will get your denials. Just for people out there that, want to know. Let me throw this in there. If there's an individual that you are trying to ensure they cannot be incarcerated during the time that you are trying to insure them, I get that question a lot. A lady got mad at me last week because I told her she couldn't put life insurance on her 31-year-old son that was incarcerated. Ma'am, he's not even here to give me consent. Like, you just can't do that. Like, I can't put insurance on somebody that's physically incarcerated. So those are questions that I get, Kiana. I hope I answered. She said, I was denied for years because of my background, which is ridiculous. I was finally approved after my probation was done. Awesome. See, it takes time. Some of it takes time, and it just really depends on the offense, and it also depends on what the outcome of your, or what the verdict was, after, you went through all of your trials and stuff like that. So I'm glad you're a prime example, Kiana. It takes time. So you were declined several times, and then now you were, able to be approved once your probation was done. And that's generally how it happens. But if somebody can't get approved right away, I do recommend that you look into some form of investment account.
Well, I listen, right? We just been on here for an hour, and I feel like we just gave like 5 weeks worth of knowledge in 1 hour. Listen, like I said, we're going to talk about this. We got to start doing a little financial segment once a month where you come through, like I said, at least like 30 minutes out of your day, out of that time, just to talk about. And I think the next thing I want to talk about is that mutual fund thing, because you really piqued my interest with that. So next month, we're going to work on a date for that. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the mutual fund thing. No, don't worry about it. Whoever that is that said they missed it, don't worry. That's what we're talking about right now. Tomorrow, we get ready to put that together. And we're going to have Ladybug come back, and we're going to talk about these things. We're going to start now. We're going to work on getting our people financially literate, and we got the platform to do it. So this is what we're going to do. I know times, Bug, when you go live, you speak about these things too. So if you follow her on Facebook and you see she going live, make sure you check it and see what she's talking about, because 9 times out of 10, she might be talking about one of these topics we discussed tonight. Again, I thank you. I appreciate.
Thank you, guys.
Don't forget, y'all. She spent her time come on here to talk. I'm not saying that you can't. You do whatever the hell you want to. But if you think about getting insurance and you're getting free fucking information from somebody, you might want to call her up if you need some insurance instead of going out with people.
Definitely.
That's how.
Even if you guys already have policies and now you're confused, you don't know what you have, if it's the right thing, trust me, I'm not going to try to take you out the right thing. I'm for the kids. I'm for people. This is not my full time. I'm a registered nurse, so I'm going to make my money anyway. So it's not about that. It's just really about educating you guys and making sure you're in the right best plan for you and your family. And also, I'll show you how to put some money to the side, because what we didn't discuss, and we don't have to discuss tonight, but burial, opening and closing the ground will not come out of your life insurance policy. A lot of people don't know that. They get to that point and like, oh my God, how are we gonna bury them? We got a policy in the mortuary, they won't take it. So just be mindful. It's different things that you need to learn and how to work your policy so that you will be better better financially once you get the policy, because all of that plays a part. So I'm definitely here. I'll assist you. I'll look over your policy for free. I won't charge you. Just say you saw me here on C. Allen and Mikey's podcast, and I will definitely I'll definitely help in that arena.
That's love. Right?
And I want to get with you when I get back, because I want to talk about some things I need to try and invest some money.
And
reach
please,
out
whenever
personally.
Oh, my bad. Whenever you get a chance, Bug, please post on the group page all of this information that people want to get in contact with you, life insurance, all of that, everything that you do that falls under this umbrella, please post it on that group page so that people will know how to get in contact with you. Because like I said, we could talk about it, but I think this one gonna get a little replay value. I think people are gonna go back and watch this one again, because like you said, people really don't want to talk about that kind of, but it's easier to watch it and not have to converse live. So that's cool. But again, I thank you, and we appreciate every time you join us, because you always join us and give us some knowledge about something that, you know what I mean? So
thank you guys so much.
Have you back, and y'all look forward to our financial section with Miss Malonia and Ladybug Hawkins. All right,
I'll be here.
Thank you, and you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, guys. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night.
See you soon, baby. All right.
All right.
You have a good one.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate you.
Listen.
She be giving it, boy. She don't even
listen,
stutter.
yo.
You can tell when somebody's
yo.
serious. She don't stutter. She don't take breaks. She go
listen,
in.
Yo. Listen, man. Like, this is, like I said, man. Like, we can talk about anything. You know what I mean? But like, this is one of them conversations, man, that we got to discuss. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of them things we got to talk about. It's on YouTube, Tawana. Just go on YouTube and look it up, or it'll be on the page like 5 minutes after we finish.
Yeah,
it'll go on the page. You'll be able to watch it.
Yeah.
But we that's just one of them topics, man. Like health, financial literacy, and just what we can do, man. You know what I mean? Like, why not talk about it? You know what I mean? And like I said, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this platform. You know what I mean? So that we can make this information available. And like I said, if you're friends with her on Facebook, all you got to do is message her and ask her questions. Y'all heard her say, listen, you got questions, you need whatever, hit me up. She even told you she offered to her services for free, saying she'll look at your policy for you. Just to make sure that you're not even saying, I'm going to look at your policy, and if it's better, I'll sell. Nah, she ain't even saying that. She's basically saying she'll look at your policy just to let you know if you have the best policy for yourself. Like, that's what this is about, yo. And that's exactly right, Kiana. When we know better, we can do better. You absolutely 100% right about that. And like I said, but y'all look forward to it. We're going to start having a little financial segment once a month where we have Bug come in and we're going to discuss certain things, and we're going to focus on financial literacy for our people. You know what I mean? The next conversation when she come back, we're going to talk about mutual funds and how that works. You know what I mean?
I want to do a people that are starting small businesses and stuff like that too. I want to start doing that. I don't want to get, you know what I started having this thoughts of all these damn she put her shit up. Hey, yo, I told you, yo.
Hey, listen, man.
What about that work, yo?
Listen,
she got
man.
all that in that short period of time. She wrote all this, got emojis and everything in that.
Y'all check it out. Like I said,
if
you're not friends with her, you might want to send her a friend request.
Right. She for the people, bro. I will tell you that.
And that's love. Like I said, man, like we just in a time, right? We just in a time, yo, where, like you said, man.
See, you I already know how you do.
She said copy and paste.
I know that's right.
And that's what I'm saying, yo. So that's gonna be our new. We're gonna have her on as our kind of like our financial consultant, our financial professional consultant on the Let Me Talk. I'm telling you, we getting bougie and more bougie every year. We got financial consultants now. Like that's
what I was just ready to say. I was just like,
different. That's not an average podcast. Most
I'm tired of seeing all
that
podcasts. All they do is gossip and give out bad news and bad information about the black community, what we doing. Even me, because I be looking at all that stuff and I keep noticing that it ain't nothing but bad stuff going on in the world. That's why I was just ready to say to you, sometimes like we can have, the people that's coming on here selling their clothes and stuff, talk about how they business doing, what they did to get started, if they had to get loans and how to get loans and stuff like that. I'd rather have more of a conversation like that, because even with the stuff that we started off with, that's cool, because that needs to be talked about too. But we can make that shit gotta be limited.
That's minuscule.
Yeah, everybody doing that. It's like every time you turn on a podcast now, they basically talking about whatever drama is going on
in
the world right now. And like tonight, I ain't even feel like hearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I just came from football practice with the kids. But it's all there is to talk about now. Every time you turn around, it's some drama.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna have Bug. We're gonna have that's what Bug. We're gonna have her here for. for exactly that type of stuff.
But like I said, what we need to do also as people that want stuff like this done, we also gotta find a way, if possible, like I say, for those of y'all that don't have life insurance, at least find out from her if she's worth y'all, what y'all want to do, because she's for the people. She'll come on here and give you all that free information. So if she can give you that free information, you can trust her with your policy. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, if she's gonna benefit us and feed us, maybe we can put food on her plate too by taking our business to her. Because I'm definitely, I don't know, but y'all, I'm not rich.
That one financial joint. I want
I make some money. I make enough money to put some money into something for myself, for later. And that's what I'm gonna get her to show me do. Because to be honest with you, like I said, with my life insurance, my mom, my mom take care of that stuff, and I reimburse her. I know what my policy is and everything, all that stuff. I'm straight. Right. I want to invest some of my money and stuff like this, instead of listening to her feed me this information and then go to the next person. I'm gonna give it to somebody who's willing to come on a nothing ass talk show like ours and feed our people information. I'd rather try my hand with somebody like that than try my hand with a whole bunch of other shit. You know what I mean?
So we're gonna yeah, I'm with that though. Like, we definitely can do like an entrepreneurial joint once a month. I mean, we on at least 4 times a month. So dedicating one of those days to an entrepreneurial type of deal, where we can talk to entrepreneurs who are starting out here, I believe that that's doable. That's feasible for us to do.
Yeah.
Like I told you this year what I wanted to focus on, and that's definitely one of those things I want to focus on. Like the good that our people doing, Like I said, I want to talk about that PNB Rock situation because that's just the hot topic right now.
Right, that shit cool to talk
on all the social media.
Fucking 2 ass.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I didn't know that brother to speak about him for 2 hours. So
right,
you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day.
And it's a sad thing that happened to him. Yeah. Not taking nothing away, disrespect to that man's family or friends or none of that. But this conversation, when I came in the house, I was a little, I went football practice. I went to work today, rushing in the house to get in here because we ain't been on there. Shit, you see me eating and drowning beers because I ain't even get a chance to get nothing to drink when I was in the house. But what I'm saying is, I was a little tired. But that whole listening to her talk and hearing stuff like that, getting the information fed to us, it woke me up. It made me wake up and start paying attention. And that's what I think that's a good thing, yo. Because like I said, the one thing I can't tell you but her, she's definitely for people. But when you talk to people that love to talk and love to give you information, you could tell when people bullshitting you or don't know what they talking about because they start stuttering and they start looking for words. She gave you examples of businesses when she was talking about Nike, shoes. She gave you businesses back to back. Like she knows what she's talking about.
Right.
So and like I said, you wanna give back to people like those people. You know what I'm saying? You wanna if like I say, for those that's in our group, even if you go to her and listen to her and you don't like what she say about the life insurance and somebody else was a better fit for you, at least you gave her a chance. It's like she tried to feed you. And she, you know what I mean? So let's just try to, if you need insurance, give her a holler. And then you make your own decision from there. I can't tell you who to make your decision with just because she gave us the information. But I'm just saying, as a friend of hers, and I love her dearly, and a friend of yours.
Known her for over 20 years.
Yeah. I never seen her any other way. Never seen her any other way.
So, and that's what I'm saying. And another good thing, that's our people too. You know what I mean? Like, that's our people talking that talking that good shit. You know what I mean? Had Dr. Bede on here for the heart. That's one of our people talking.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Had Terry on here. That's one of our people talking that good shit. So we showing that, yeah, we do that. We do all of that. We don't ever really have to go outside of our own people to find that positivity. And that was, like I said, one of the things I wanted to focus on this year was us being able to find those positive things in those people who are out here affecting change. And definitely life insurance is
right,
important.
She was
life insurance is definitely important. Again, y'all see the information on there, y'all see the name, send her a friend request. She told y'all, you know what I mean? But you know, like I said, I'm glad that we had the conversation. I'm glad that we had the conversation because I feel like that's something that was supposed to have been talked about. Now, you know, if you go back and watch it later, you know, then that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? But this is one of those posts like I did with the heart post, like I did with the mental health post. If you go back and watch it, I need everybody that's on here, when we done, I need everybody that's on here to share this live. And I need everybody, please, do me that favor. When we done, share that live.
There's a lot of people need this information, man.
That's why I'm telling everybody to share it. If everybody on here share it, then that means all your friends gonna see it. And you let your friends know to share it. And then they friend, you know what I mean? Like that's how we gotta get this information out there. We gotta spread this information around, and we gotta be able to make sure that our people can get a hold of it. Even if you can't talk directly to them, you can say, hey, go back to the podcast for this date. And you can listen to it, and it'll tell you everything you need to tell.
Because I'm telling y'all one thing y'all ain't paying attention to, a lot of people ain't paying attention to, and I can't say y'all not. This country does not want people to get old. Think of all the shit they putting in the food. Think of all the shit that we got in all these diseases. Think of all the killings, the laws that they making and not following. The Constitution, you could ball it up and throw it away. They don't want people to get old because once you get old, you get them Social Security checks and all that stuff. They don't want to pay for you. They do not want to pay for you. Retirement fund, or they don't want you. That's right. Because if you get educated, you would get old. If you get educated about stuff, you could get old. I'm gonna make this real short. I watch so much stuff about the way things are going in this society that I literally had to take a break from it. I'm always researching. I watch TV less. Sometimes I can't even sleep because I do it so much. And I'm learning so much about society. This society is going crazy. And there's some things that we need to discuss about this. The laws that's being passed in 2023.
Facts.
You see what they talking about? The police can't, next year, the police cannot make a stranger get out of your house. Somebody can actually walk in your house or in your garage or something and start living in your house. You got to use your own force to get them out. And you got to know the laws and shit to get them out. We need to discuss topics like that because it's really, really crazy out here. Yeah, they ready to have a purge. People, this shit crazy. They ready to have a purge. It's basically it's already a purge for real. People just ain't paying attention because that's part of what you seeing with the rapper getting shot like that. It's already start being a purge. People robbing people in broad daylights. Did y'all see the fight on the cruise ship?
No.
Oh my God, these motherfuckers out in the middle of the ocean.
Fighting on a cruise ship, yo.
Bro, look it up. There's something wrong with that, people.
I gotta see that shit.
It's an all-out brawl on a cruise ship.
It was something they had an all-white party.
You see it? She seen it?
Pamela said, I think so, yeah.
This on the deck of the boat. It's people just wrecking.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
We're gonna have to pay attention
I'm gonna have to go another route with the domestic violence thing because I guess nobody from Anne Arundel Medical Center ever got back to me about that. So we'll have to go another route. Next month is domestic violence awareness, right? October. So we'll shoot for October. I got some other people I can call, so we're gonna work on that. But
when it comes to stuff like that, if they don't want to come,
well, I was just trying to get some actual professionals because, like I said, when we talk about certain shit, me and you can sit and speak on what we think about certain shit all day long. But at the end of the day, if we want people to really be educated, I like to make sure that we have a professional in that lane that we speaking on here, so that way they can educate us as well as everybody else that's listening. Because I damn sure don't want nobody be like, man, Cialis said I ain't had to pay for no burial. Man, I ain't paying for my uncle get buried. We gonna leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they gonna be like, who is Cialis? He got a podcast. Do Cialis do burial? No, he don't do it, but he said it. You see what I'm saying? So I like to make sure that we have I want to make sure that we have a professional on here so that we will know and they will have the information correctly. And you can always go back and watch it, and you can listen to that professional say what they got to say again, and you can take that information and do more research for yourself. Other than that, though, we're closing up now. We're ready to close up shop. Appreciate everybody for joining us. This definitely was a great conversation. Again, thank you, Ladybug, for joining us.
Yes, sir.
And giving all of that information. She gave us like years of information in an hour, yo.
Yeah, she be going
in literally 60 minutes. She gave us a year's worth of education on this topic. Yo.
She definitely will feed you, boy.
So, we appreciate y'all joining us as always.
But one thing, real quick, y'all go look at that. You can take the information that you gave you off that and research it yourself.
Facts. Big facts. Big facts. And we're going to be back. I got to find out. Is that all right? In case a glizzy choke him out, you got to make sure you got insurance.
Get a glizzy in your third.
Right.
The doctor's like, wow. He got 3 glizzies down his throat with no bun.
Word. I can dig it, Tiara. Tiara said she's going to be getting a separate plan. That's what's up. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
We thank y'all for joining us. We'll be back next week. I don't know what we're talking about. We're going to have the brothers check it. I'm going to holler at Tony and them, yo. We're going to check in next week and see
we didn't do the sister check in.
Hey, that's because the sisters don't want to do it.
Yeah, dude.
That ain't my fault. All right, we'll pull up a sister check-in. We're going to make it happen. I'm going to holler at you. I love you, B.
All right, love you back, man.
All right.
Oh.